On 5th of July 2021, I was driving a train out of Cleethorpes and I noticed a man, and they just looked up at me and decided that he wanted to end his life in front of my train. I didn't know how to deal with the incident, so I decided to go to a peer-to-peer support group for men to talk about the incident and to help other people as well. I think the TransPennine Express Chatty Bench is a great idea because you never know the difference that one chat might make. It might be the only person that they're able to talk to. It might be that they need that one person just to say, how are you doing? And the difference that can make can be life-changing, it can be life-saving.
Initiatives like Andy's Men Club and like this Chatty Bench, because you never know who you're gonna meet that day, who you're gonna possibly help that day. You know, you might even save someone's life. You know, the initiative is absolutely fantastic.
At a real dark, lonely point in my life, a stranger reached out to me, and it was a small moment of kindness, of human interaction that fundamentally changed my life. So this is why the campaign to end loneliness, Chatty Benches, is so important, because you could provide that moment of light for somebody else.
My story, I would say, starts with the fact that I've learnt that I am terrified of loneliness, and that has made me come to realise that actually there's an epidemic of lonely people. I do know from my experience of befriending isolated, lonely people, I do know how much value they get out of simple conversations and social contact. I mean, it's the prime source of social contact that their lives lack and what they suffer from. And this simple opportunity for them to enable them to take part, to join the sort of social party that we're all members of. We do it easy. They don't, they find it so difficult. And this is just a simple enabler.
I see this bench as a prompt, an opportunity that, by virtue of saying that it's a chatty bench, it invites people to come and sit and maybe chat. And I've seen chatty benches elsewhere, and I have to say I haven't yet sat on one and talked to somebody. But I feel confident that I could go and sit in one if I was feeling lonely, and I think somebody would come and talk with me, listen to me, and we could connect, because it's about talking and listening. And members of the public need to know that it is an invitation. Come and talk to me. I might be lonely.
So I think to be more aware of people around us, people feel vulnerable, people from all walks of life. You know, it affects people in different ways. Nobody should be lonely, nobody should be feeling isolated. You know, people shouldn't feel at risk, and we need to really be vigilant and care about people.
So I guess for me, I've always, looking back on it, had issues with my mental health. Like, I look back when I was younger and think, oh, that was definitely anxiety, before I knew really what anxiety was, or depression before I knew what depression was. But for me, the real catalyst started just after I turned 20 years old, which is when I broke my leg. And that was a real change in my life. Like, my life has gone a completely different direction because of that than it would have done if that had never happened to me. My leg never healed properly. We're 11 years later now, and after about 6 years of trying to save my leg, I made the decision to have my leg amputated, because I couldn't carry on in the same pattern I'd fallen into. Another thing that really fed into it was I did lose a friend to suicide whilst all of this was going on. And it was such a shock because none of us knew he was struggling. Like, you know, he was the life of the party. Like, every memory I have of him is him doing something ridiculous and funny and making jokes and making us laugh. So when I found out that that had happened, it was really kind of shocking and upsetting, and just how did we not know? So one thing I always say to people, whether it be a friend or a family member or a colleague through my mental health first aid at work, is that the first step to take is to always talk to someone. And it sounds really glib. It sounds like something from a cheap self-help book you buy in the supermarket that's on sale, but it's true. In all of my experience that I've had with struggling with my own mental health and with helping friends through situations they've had struggles with, as soon as you start talking to someone about a situation, you feel lighter. It genuinely feels like a weight has been lifted off of your shoulder. And sometimes it's more helpful if that person is a stranger. If that person has absolutely no emotional bearing in your life, that can be easier. And that's where these benches are really helpful, because if someone's just sat on one and you just go and have a chat, and they may just be sat there, but also they may need that conversation that could lead to them getting help or to even just feeling that little bit better.